Hey, Justice Warriors, what's happening? Look at me. I'm in my new studio. Do you like it? I've got a swivel chair and everything. So, yes, I am trying to do the less is more, but at the same time, we got the mouse back over here. So funny how left is right is left. Anyway, I was just coming on real quick to say hello because it's been a weekend and you guys know how I miss you so much not creating content over the weekend. And then I've spent all day setting up the studio and it's super exciting. But I did want to come on and say hi before the day was over. And then I will try to do a regular live tomorrow earlier in the day, like I have stated that I'm trying to do. I was trying to do that today. And, everything takes so much longer than you'd think that it would. So here we are. I'm going to go ahead and say, Brenda, what's up? I just about dropped my creepy thumb. Hit that like button, Brenda, if you don't mind. Thanks so much for coming in. I was just doing a quick live before I have to go take care of some business. So if you want to share, make sure you're still subscribed, ring your notification bell. We can talk for a few minutes. I wanted to discuss some of the Rust trial, if you guys are aware that that's going on. Bex, what's up? What's going on? Look at you. Look at us. So let me do a quick disclaimer and then start trashing Alec Baldwin because that guy's a freaking jerk and a half, man. He shot Helena Hutchins dead on the spot, and he's the most entitled MF. I mean, I used to be a fan of his, I'll admit it, but not anymore. Absolutely not. Anyway, everything I say is simply my opinion for the sake of hoping to start a conversation, open up a discussion, learn something, be educational. All my videos to date, each and every single one of them has been made for YouTube. It's an entertainment platform. I'm so happy to see you guys. I'm so happy to be on and to have some company. So thanks for coming in. And I'm also really excited about having some of my cool, silly stuff back. I was trying to strip it bare and just go minimalist. And there's a lot to be said for the minimalist, but there's a lot to be said for all the fun stuff too. So we'll just keep fine-tuning it, right? Have you guys watched any of the trial? I was actually watching some of it today while I was getting ready for this. And I've watched a few other content creators talking about the trial. It's so sad. It's just so awful. Drip Drop, of course, from Crime Circus. Brenda says, I thought he was a good actor, but now what is going on with him now? Well, he's an egomaniac. I'll tell you what I know. I'm not saying that I know everything. I'm not saying that I'm accurate. He's a narcissist to the extreme. That's kind of a given. But, he took someone's life, accident or not an accident. Sorry about that noise. And he just wants to be argumentative. Anna Bean, what's up? So, yeah, it makes him really unappealing. Anyway, Drip Drop put up a interrogation video, was it? No. It was the live body cam from when the first responders got out there to the crime scene, you guys. I will put a link in the description as soon as I can. It might take me a few hours to get to it, but you can find it on Drip Drop Crime Circus channel. It's absolutely chilling. The body cam from when they run into that itty bitty tiny church where they were doing the film shoot and Helena got shot at very close range. And I never understood, even though I've paid attention to this case from day one, it went in her right armpit and then came out of her left shoulder blade, you guys. You might have already known that. I honestly hadn't really gathered that precise information until the live body cam. So in her right armpit and out her left shoulder blade. That's really bad. That is really bad. I don't think there's any way on earth she could have survived that. And then we all know that that same bullet went into the other guy, Joel Sousa. And yeah, I'm not sure what the goal of the trial is. I honestly have no idea. I thought that Alec Baldwin had already pretty much been given the get out of jail free card. And I hope not. I hope that he can be held accountable. But we all know how the system works. And when you have a rich, famous millionaire, money talks. It's horrible. There's no justice with that. Okay, Brenda says, yes, he's an idiot. I don't know he was being such an ass. I didn't know he was being such an ass about it. I thought he was sick over it, but he was showing another side. Absolutely, Brenda. So yeah, he was sick about it. Like, I think he might have even thrown up at the scene of the crime, but he also was trying to kind of trick the law enforcement into letting him go change his clothes. You'll see that on that body cam footage. Like, the guy says, no, don't change your clothes until I can talk to the evidence expert or something like that. And he's like, well, I'll just go change my clothes then. And the guy was trying to be really nice. Like, he was obviously handling him with kid gloves because he's Alec Baldwin. But he was like, no, don't change your clothes until I talk to the evidence technician. So why was he wanting to get out of those clothes? Like, yeah, it was a ridiculous outfit, but somebody's deceased because of you. So who cares about your freaking Bugs Bunny outfit or whatever the heck it is you have on? I mean, he was like Yosemite Sam. He was like a little kid doing this little gun movie. And the movie just happens to mimic the real life of what happened. It's crazy, Brenda. It's crazy. So yeah, I was a big fan. He was in Beetlejuice. That's a great movie. He's been in a bunch of cool stuff. He did some really funny work on Saturday Night Live and 30 Rock, I think it was. Or no, yeah, 30 Rock. I'm thinking Third Rock from the Sun, but no, then there was the 30 Rock that he was on. Anyway, let me give you a quick little nutshell of what I know about the Baldwin boys. Okay, he's the oldest of the four brothers. They grew up in Long Island, a little town you might have heard of called Amityville. Seriously, they grew up in Amityville, Long Island, Amityville, New York. And this is the part that's going to blow your freaking mind. Okay, this I think was in... This was research I was doing while I was watching a Crime Circus video. I was trying to type information into the chat and my comments were blocked. So it wasn't Drip Drop that did it either. It was maybe part of the shadow banning. I don't know, but I thought it was funny, and I'll do a video on the comments that I was making because I was finding some really good material. You know, I was watching the live on my laptop and I was Googling stuff on my cell phone. So guess whose daddy was a shooting coach for 28 years when he was growing up, you guys? Take a wild shot in the dark, no pun intended. His dad was a freaking shooting coach, I think at a high school. So like where shooting was one of their competitive sports, I'm not sure. But he was a teacher at a high school. His mom was a stay-at-home mom. Those Baldwin brothers were known all over Long Island for being complete scumbag, nothing but trouble. And then that was way before they ever hit Hollywood. And then, you know, they hit Hollywood and they're all like the Baldwin babes, except for the one, you know, not to be mean, but we all know there's the one goofy looking one. And then there's the three extremely like Ken doll looking ones. And Alec has been in a lot of trouble with the law multiple times. And he doesn't seem to have a really good attitude towards women either. So this whole thing with Helena, you guys may or may not know some of the backstory of how a bunch of the crew had walked out on the set and basically went on strike and quit on the spot because of the poor work conditions. And one of the things specifically that they were complaining about that Alec refused to fix, and then Helena fixed it, was that a lot of the like lower on the totem pole crew had to drive, I think it was about 80 miles to and from their hotel rooms to the set. And they were working 14-hour days at least, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure, like super long days. So 14 hours, give or take. And then, over an hour commute each way. And that's probably driving really fast. I mean, maybe the speed limit's 70 there. But anyway, people were scared. They were having scary experiences driving to and from being so sleep deprived. So they tried to get a closer location for their hotel rooms. And some of the higher people on the totem pole or, higher on the ladder did have rooms at a much closer location, like 20 minutes. So Alex said, absolutely not. It's not in the budget. And so they walked out. And then Helena was like, hey, look, if I cancel 1 or 2 days of using all this super expensive equipment, that's like $14,000 a day to rent. If I cancel 1 or 2 of those days, that's enough money to cover the hotel rooms. So she fixed the problem the night before. And then they were trying to get it together to start filming that day. And it was already lunchtime and they hadn't gotten anything filmed, probably like I've been doing all day. They've been setting up their set. And every little thing takes so long. And then, you kick over a glass of water or some glass breaks or something, anything. And it's just like a whole domino effect. And then you're taking another hour. Anyway, the point is that they were finally about to start shooting right after lunch. So they hadn't been able to film since the last day that they were filming. And I haven't looked at the calendar in a while. I want to say that all this happened like right after a weekend. So maybe they hadn't filmed for a couple of days. But whatever it was, they were trying to get going. And right before they were about to start filming, he pulls the gun out and he's playing with it, basically. Like he points it right at Helena. And in his explanation, the thing fires. Okay. The thing didn't fire itself. And that gun was tested afterwards by specialists to make sure that there was no malfunctioning. There was no malfunctioning. But even with a malfunctioning gun, it still's not going to fire itself. You have to pull the trigger. And he still denies that to this day. What I'm gathering out of today's testimony is basically that Alex's defense team has hired expert witnesses that sound like bumbling fools that are going to try to make the experts that say that the gun couldn't have malfunctioned and shot itself, try to make them look like fools. And that's what it's all about. I've done the whole expert witness thing in the courts, and it's all about the money. You get paid thousands upon thousands of dollars for what could be brief testimony, could be a full day. You just don't know until it happens. But whatever it is, you get paid stacks of cash. And there are plenty of professionals who are easily bought and sold, will say anything you want them to say for the right amount of money. So that's what makes me so sick in all this. He needs to be held accountable. Yeah, I mean, this woman is deceased and he's all concerned about himself, of course. And same with Hannah Gutierrez. I mean, I actually have some compassion for her because she was just a kid and she was being stupid and made some bad mistakes that cost somebody their life. But she was a little kid practically. She was 23. And it seems to me that Alec is going to try to put it all on her, and he doesn't care if it screws up the rest of her life. He does not care. And it's unfortunate. Let me grab some water. Hola, Fred Field. I was out walking and playing ball with my pit. Oh, is it really nice there in Chicago? It's super great weather here in Ohio. I don't know about this, but I think it was an accident. I don't think he meant to kill anyone, but I don't know everything. Anna Bean, I know accident is pretty much, the narrative. I have a different idea. And I think that it was easy to make it look like an accident. But he had absolutely zero reason to have the gun out of the holster and to be pointing it right at her. Very, very close range. I want to say like 3 feet. I mean, extremely close range. And in his own words, he says, you never point a gun at anybody, loaded or unloaded. You never point a gun at anybody. That's how you do safe gun handling. I mean, we all know that from the time we're little kids. Never, ever, ever. He pointed it right at her with the damn thing cocked. And then he says it just went off. It's just like, he's Alec Baldwin. So yeah, it'll be sold as an accident. I'm sure of it. No matter what I think, or no matter what any experts might think. But I don't believe it was an accident. I think he was pissed AF that she basically went behind his back and did what he was not willing to do. Because he could have done that. He could have forked over another $14,000 or whatever it would total out to be to get these crew members rooms that were an hour or 45 minutes closer to the work location. I have known a few actors, and it is surprising how dumb they can be. Probably meant dumb, but the problem, I grew up in Southern California. I don't like to say the name of the towns because, it's like Beverly Hills and Malibu and Venice Beach, but Venice is cool. And, some people think Beverly Hills and Malibu are cool, but they're way too fancy for me. Anyway, my point is that, yeah, I've seen a lot of rich, famous people, and it's just a bunch of hogwash. It's meaningless. Fame and fortune are not what us common folks think that it is, and it doesn't make people happy. It absolutely doesn't make people happy. If anything, it makes them miserable. So, many people that get into the limelight think that they're going to be happy, and then they're kind of blown away that they're not. Like Kurt Cobain, okay? He's a great example because he was blatantly honest about how unhappy he was, despite the fact that he was an extremely successful rock star, which was essentially a dream come true, and he was making money hand over fist. I mean, he's just one great example, but Cat Stevens is another one. And their list goes on and on. Yeah. Dumb, LOL. Yeah. Hey, Jazz. How's Sandra? What's going on? So nice to see you. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to keep this one short. Let me see where I put my phone, because I am expecting to get a text and to have to go. But I thought I would come on anyway because I love you guys so much, and I missed you, and I hadn't been on since Friday, I think. And I was just dying to get on. I spent the whole weekend, actually Friday, Saturday, Sunday, just hammering away at my master yoga class routine. So I've got that to be polished up. I've been polishing it up, and I'm excited to share that with you too. So I've got lots of videos, lots of irons in the coals, because I think I might want to do that yoga video completely separate from true crime, because the last video I did where I did yoga and true crime, it was pretty hard to go back and forth. I think it's probably better to stick with one topic, one genre per video. So, we can talk about different cases in one video. Like right now, we can maybe talk about a couple of more before we have to wrap up. I understand it was his responsibility to make sure the gun was empty or had bullets. Something isn't right with him, and he keeps making more Baldwins. Yikes. Yeah, him and Hilaria, her name's Hillary, okay? She's from Massachusetts, and she tried to pawn herself off as being from Spain and goes by Hilaria. There's something wrong with her too. So they have at least 6 little kids. That was the number that they had back then when this happened. And you know, they're just all about themselves. They're all about themselves. And then he was using the 6 little kids as like an excuse of why he couldn't fulfill his responsibilities as far as being interviewed. Seriously. He was like, well, me and my wife, we have 6 kids, so it's really hard to get away. Oh, but when I was doing the filming in Santa Fe, yeah, we had a whole nother setup, but we don't have that anymore. So it's all on me and her. It's just like, dude, yeah, right. Like you don't have a million nannies. Whatever. Like the guy he's a fast talker, he's a smooth talker, and he just bulldozes right over everybody. Wow, Fred, 70? Isn't it February? What in the world? Yes. Yeah, I love the lights. I saw that next comment. It says back to highs. I thought it said lights. Highs 40 or below next few days. I thought it said back to lights. I thought you were talking about the lighting in the studio that I'm making. So isn't it so cute? But let's talk about the cases because, I've been hammering away at the Watts case lately, and I want to continue to do that. So there's 2 channels that I have told you guys about that I'm really excited for the content creators. I really like this woman that does Mistin things. I'll put a link again. She did her most recent video is 2 hours long, and she's reading through the first 6 pages of the 1,000 or 2,000 page discovery from the Watts case. And that might sound dry, but it's not. Trust me, it's really fascinating. So I'm going to put a link to that. And then this other channel, this kid, I would think he's in his mid-20s maybe, but I think he's a father too. So maybe he's not as young as he looks. I think his channel's name is CJ Arts, but again, I'll put a link. And his channel, I think he has like 25,000 subs, and that he's like a paranormal channel, but he's been covering the Watts case a little bit. He's more of like a reaction channel. So he's been reacting to Christina Randall reacting to things. And I really like Christina Randall, and I really like this guy, CJ Arts. So it's just fascinating to me, people that are refocusing on the Watts case, or people like him that are focusing for the first time on the Watts case 5.5 years in and have never really studied it or focused on it. And it's amazing to get fresh eyes on these cases, in my opinion. So yeah, one of the channels that I very rarely, if ever, give a shout out to for Kylie Rodney content that I am dying to give a huge shout out to. I'm sure you guys know how great Horrific is. It's HURRIFIC, I think. I might have misspelled it, but I know it starts with HUR instead of HOR. So, we all know Squirrels on Fire is way up at the top of Kylie content. Mark Molina, Divine Justice, aka Mrs. G, the Honey Badger, and Ara and Ninja, Chihuahua, Illuminated Mind, Prophetic Forensics. Forensic Files is a good show too. Horrific is a really good one. And there's probably a half dozen other really good ones that I'm not mentioning. When I say really good ones, I'm talking specifically covering Kylie Rodney content. So if you're interested in continuing to seek justice for Kylie Rodney, these channels that I just listed are plugging away at it. There's an obvious one that I didn't name because she's just a freaking hot mess. So we don't even need to go there. But these jokers involved in these cases, and for the most part, it's, forgive me, I don't want to sound sexist, but for largely, it's a lot of men that are being the jokers. Like in the Kylie Rodney case, Sam Brown, even though he's not the sheriff, he's the sheriff's captain, and he's like the spokesperson. And then you've got Sheriff Wayne Wu, who never speaks because, you know, the whole statutory R thing that he has admitted to, that he has never been reprimanded for, and that he's still practicing law enforcement is insane. But these people are jokers. Alec Baldwin, perfect example. Wasn't he going to be in the Joker movie, or was he in the Joker movie? Like, he's a serious Joker, you guys, in a really bad way. These people are so entitled and privileged and dangerous. And let me just say, again, at the risk of sounding sexist, because I'm not sexist. I love my guys. I'm really into the men in my life, the boys in my life. I'm not at all like reverse sexist. Really, I'm not. But the more I say that, I sound like I am, right? But these cases are primarily women being victims and then men covering it up. So, like the Mo Wilson case. And you guys, I don't know if you remember, I think there was only 1 or 2 videos where I mentioned that she had a friend that also dated Colin Strickland. And I didn't remember the friend's name, so I didn't talk about it too much because I was like, you know, there's no way to really like verify that. And I don't know how close of friends they were, but it's just another woman that Colin Strickland was sleeping with around the same time, close to the same time that he was sleeping with Mo Wilson, and obviously close to the same time, or maybe overlapping with when he was sleeping with Caitlin Armstrong, who we all know shot Mo Wilson and killed her because of Colin Strickland's behavior, in my opinion. So, I mean, I'm not taking any blame off of Caitlin Armstrong, but I'm trying to share some of her blame with the boyfriend that was dogging her and playing mind games with her, and dogging Mo and playing mind games with her too. So Amity Rockwell is the other professional cyclist that I know he had relations with, perhaps overlapping with all of these chicks. I don't know, but the man was a player, and it kind of blew up in his face and cost a young woman her life. And again, another millionaire who is just bent on protecting himself, and it's all about him and his career. And it just makes me sick. It absolutely makes me sick. So before I wrap up for today, and Brenda has to go too. Yeah, I'm going to have to wrap up. Sorry to be so short. We're only 28 minutes, but at least it's a half an hour video. Better than 0, right? So let's see. The other case I wanted to mention, of course, is Idaho 4. Sloan Bella, one of my subscribers, and thank you, Raised from Perdition 2 times, sent me an email this morning with a very current, I think the only Idaho 4 video that Sloan Bella has done. And I've seen this content creator. I know I've heard of them. I don't know that I've ever watched a whole video of hers, but I really liked her. I thought she was great. So I'm going to put a link to her video that Raised from Perdition 2 times sent me. And again, thank you, Raised. That was really sweet. One of the things she said that I thought was just brilliant is how Kohberger, the criminal defendant, has been weaponized as a human and as an intelligent human. They've turned that into a weapon and basically using it against him, which is just very articulately portraying what I've thought all along. So I want to give her a huge shout out for that. Sloan Bella, big channel. I think she has a couple 100,000 subs already. But she deserves every single one of them. And Raised from Perdition 2 times, who I think said that they have a channel too. Am I right? I'll have to check. I'll email them back and ask if they do have a channel. I think they do. But anyway, let's go ahead and wrap up. I appreciate you guys so much. And I'm going to highlight Fred Fields about 70 in Chicago, because that's just crazy. It is only the 26th of February. Wow. And it's almost 3:30. So I'm going to ask you one more time to hit that like button if you'd be so kind. I hope to get onto my live tomorrow morning, let's say between 10 and noon. I wish I could nail it down more precisely, but we'll get there as I get more settled into my new space. So share the video if you like it. Make sure you're still subscribed. Ring your notification bell. I'll figure out my lighting. It looks like this kind of gets lost in the shadow over here. Like it should, technically the frame is all the way over here where the tip of my finger is, but you can't see it because of the weird lighting. I don't understand these things. Anyway, that's why you have a whole crew when you have a movie set, right? And those are the people that were demanding the more expensive hotel rooms, and Mr. Baldwin said, no, you can't have them. And then Helena said, look, we can do it. I fixed it. And then she's deceased. So I'm suspicious. I'm extremely suspicious. And if he wasn't such a rat freaking bastard about the whole thing, I wouldn't be so suspicious. But when he's trying to act like he doesn't understand what the law enforcement is saying, and he's like, okay, well, then I'll just go change my clothes. Like, no, you have gunpowder on your person. Don't touch anything until the scene is processed. There's a dead person and you are holding the freaking gun. Okay. Just show some respect, not only for the deceased individual, rest in peace, Helena Hutchins, but for the law enforcement that is there dealing with your funky jerk off self. Okay. No, you're not like the king of the world, dude. I know you're Mr. Baldwin. I know you're the biggest brother of them all. I know you're married to Kim Basinger, but we all know how she feels about you and your daughter and how she feels about you and the things that you've said about them publicly, but they're not allowed to speak about you publicly. What a pig. Anyway, on that, I'm going to say thanks for watching and thanks for your support. I love you guys, sending you light and love. And what else? Make sure you drink your water, eat your protein, get your exercise. I'm going to try to do my full 50-minute or 60-minute yoga routine video for you guys in the next couple of days. I know I keep saying that, but there's so much more work on it that I've done, and that the work that I did, I thought just needed like this much. And of course it was like that much, but I think I'm there. I mean, I'm not done. I'm nowhere near done, but I've made a significant amount of progress that I can show you a pretty well finished product that you can do the workout if you want. And then you can have a free yoga class. So how's that? I would love to share that with you guys, because that's what I want to do. Is I just want to share the joy of feeling good in your own skin, feeling better in your own skin. It's priceless. Your health is priceless. You are priceless. You are irreplaceable. Just like Gabby Petito in her cute little photograph when she was 11, holding that poster board that says, I'm irreplaceable. You guys see that on my thumbnails from last week? I think I used it twice. That's Gabby from a video. I think the video was about suicide, or self-harm, I should say. And yeah, it's just really cute and really sad. So we didn't even get to talk about her today. And I do want to continue to talk about Gabby, because there's been a lot going on with that, with the settlement that happened with her family and the Laundries last week. And then there's still the outstanding lawsuit with her family against Moab PD, against the law enforcement. So, and I still want to get that body cam footage from the park ranger, Melissa Hall, from the domestic violence call on August 12th, 2021, I think it was. That body cam video needs to be released. I've requested it more than once. It's been denied. I received a letter from the FBI about it. I even showed that to you guys in a video once. I was just like, oh my God, the FBI is contacting me. What did I do? Am I in trouble? But I wasn't really concerned because I figured if I was in trouble, they wouldn't be sending me something in the mail. They'd be knocking on my door, right? Anyway, whatever it is, I didn't do it. I swear. Okay, you guys have a lovely rest of your day, and we will see you tomorrow. Thanks again for watching. Take care.